Welcome to the COMC Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. And we've got the Rerichas here with us today. It is James, it is Dr. Katie. How are you guys?
Pretty good today.
Good, very good. So I've talked with you before, so you're new on the show. I'm going to have some good questions for you. So we call you Dr. Katie. You're a veterinarian, right?
Yes.
So, all right. So how long have you been a vet?
Been out 10 years now.
10 years, okay. So is this something you always knew you wanted to do? Did you grow up and you just loved animals and you wanted to be a vet?
Yeah, according to my mom. I've been saying it since before kindergarten, and so I stayed on that track. I, had some teachers along the way that encouraged me and a couple that said, oh, I'm not so sure. And then they would change their mind eventually. I had one that did, and she's like, yeah, you should probably do that. And so I just was encouraged to keep going forward with that.
So you knew before kindergarten you wanted to be a veterinarian.
Yeah, that was the goal.
Do you have this gift with animals or something, like they just love you and you can talk to them and everything? Have you always had that ability?
I mean, most animals do. I certainly have a few that don't like me, but for the most part, people, owners that come in are like, wow, okay, that's kind of weird. And I'm like, well, sometimes if you're just calm and collected, and I think that's probably the biggest attribute I have, is that I'm pretty laid back.
Right,
and
yeah.
you can feel that.
Because they say, the animals can sense whatever you're feeling, right? If you're bunched up, they're going to be a little bunched up or something like that. What is the best part? What do you love the most about being a vet?
The best part is, just watching the animals as they get older too, just like you would with the kid when they're getting older. You can see them going throughout their life and extend their life and have a good quality, and just seeing them happy.
Wow.
The pet's happy with the owner's happy.
You really do love these animals, don't you? That's pretty amazing. What is the worst part about being a vet? What is the toughest part of the job?
I think having the difficult conversations with the owners when their animals are aging, and trying to kind of making sure that particular pet is having a good quality of life and not just hanging on just because the owners aren't ready to let them go.
Right.
And I think that having that conversation is definitely the hardest part.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be pretty difficult. Do you get bit much in this job?
I get bit more than the average vet.
She can probably share some scars.
I often am on the ground with the animals. I prefer not to have them on exam tables, and sometimes that gets me in a precarious position. I definitely have them on my lap a lot, and sometimes that doesn't always work out.
I'm guessing. So we're talking with Dr. Katie Rericha, James Rericha. And like me, I've always been afraid of dogs. Like if I see a stray dog, I'm going the other direction, right? And I've never really been bit for some reason. That's just kind of it. But you've never had to deal with that, right? Or overcome that. Are there any animals that you are afraid of? If a big old rattlesnake comes in or something, I mean, are you going to have a problem with that? Or
Yeah, we don't see a lot of snakes, thank goodness. But certainly I don't mind handling snakes, so that doesn't bother me either.
Okay. So, but I've got friends that have pet snakes, right? Do they bring them to vets, or are they pretty much carefree?
They have their medical needs, but we often try to find the right place for them to go because we don't really have the knowledge base, at least I don't, in caring for a snake. So
Absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of a touch and go there. So probably more than any other area I've lived in over my life, and I've lived in a lot of places, people love pets here. There are animal lovers here, man. Is that good for business? I'm guessing that's great for business, right?
No, the community is very much, I'd say animal oriented. We have 2 wonderful shelters in the area, and they both do a fantastic job at trying to find animals the right homes. And we help. I help personally with one of them a little closer, but they're both fantastic places.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you guys, I don't know how you do it all, because you got 4 kids and you own all these businesses. You guys own our vets, right? And how many locations? It's like 7 or 8 or something like that?
Yeah, we're getting ready to close in on 7. So.
Wow, that's a lot of places to oversee, but it's not just that. You guys also own the Lorry Mall, which is really a really cool place up there. If you haven't been up to the Lori Mall, you got to go up and check that out because that's kind of a unicorn up there the way that is. And I think since you bought it, you've been getting, more good people moving in there. It's kind of like one of the places where people congregate on the west side.
Absolutely. Every year they hold their Christmas parade ends there. It was a shock to me when someone said, "Hey, there's a mall in Lori." I'm like, "No way." I had to go walk through it for myself, but there's interior hallways. It's a true mall.
Yeah, it really is.
We've got, Fat Sal's and Raging Axes and Mojava and COMC up there.
Yep.
All great tenants, and we've got some new ones moving in this year, so it's going to be a great year.
Yeah, and again, if you haven't been up and checked out the Lori Mall, you just should do it just to go see how. And when did they build that? Has it been around since like the 70s?
70s. It was here before half the shopping over at Osage Beach. So
yeah, it's amazing. It's pretty cool. Okay, and on top of all that, you are a part of a couple of other businesses. One of them is WP Controls, right? So what is WP Controls? What is that all about?
So last week we just closed on WP Controls, and we're going to be relaunching their wireless lift, which allows you to control your boat lift from your phone. It's going to be the Icon Lift. We can pull up an app on my phone here. We could lower my boat today. I can see a photo of it. I can see if anybody's there. I get notifications if it's going up or going down. If I end up with a leak, it'll automatically raise it back up.
Wow.
So it's quite awesome. And then I've got temperature and a camera, and we can control our de-icing motor from this controller. So there's a lot of options to it. And it's going to be the top line controller for here at the lake and all over the U.S.
Wow, that is so cool. Okay, so for a guy that owns a couple of boats, I've got boats. I got to manually lift, do it up and down. And I just leave it down in the water, right? Because I'm not going to get out of the boat and go there and lift it back up and then go get back in the boat, right? So that kind of takes care of that whole problem. You can just lift it up and put it
even
down.
Before that, my kids are a mile ahead of us as we're walking down the dock. I'll hit the board position. It'll lower the boat right to the easy level to get on for everybody. And we get on the boat, I'll hit launch, and I'll already be at the captain's chair, so I don't have to jump on the boat while the lift's going down. I can motor out. We can put it back up so that we're not damaged by the waves while we're out and about.
Yeah.
It's great.
Because that is the problem. When you leave your lift down in the water, if there's a bunch of waves, it can bend the frame of that lift down there. So,
absolutely.
Oh, that's pretty amazing. We're going to get some more on that. So we're talking with James, Dr. Katie Rericha, owners of our Veterinary, and so much more. We'll talk more with them right after this. If it's happening at the lake, it's happening on Lake TV. From the Polar Plunge to festivals, parades, Aquapalooza, and boat shows, Lake TV has it all. Even the granddaddy of them all, the shootouts. If you're looking for places to party, things to do, or even a new home to move into, you've gotta love Lake TV. At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center offers 3 OBGYNs at the Osage Beach Clinic and 2 pediatricians with same-day appointments available. At COMC, our doors are open to everyone with 5 primary care locations conveniently located across the Ozarks. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission.
Take Lake TV with you wherever you go. Watch Lake TV on demand on YouTube, Roku, and Fire TV.
Welcome back to the COMC Community Spotlight Show. We're talking with the Rerichas, James and Dr. Katie, owners of our vet and several other businesses here in town. You guys also have a very special relationship with Kids Harbor, right? Over the years. Where did that come about? How did that happen?
Well, over the years, for me, we like to give back to our community, and we feel we can be more impactful if we look at the opportunities. And there's a lot of wonderful charities in our community, but this one had a mission that just resonates with us, and so we've decided to focus our efforts with Kids Harbor, help them raise money. They provide some very necessary services to some very unfortunate youth in our community and around and surrounding communities. And so we would encourage anybody to consider them in their giving.
Yeah, absolutely. Kara Gerdeman and company, just great over there. So how many, I know when you go to school to be a doctor, you have to do a lot of extra schooling. Is that the same for veterinary? You got to do a lot of extra work in the classroom to do that?
Yes. So I went to undergrad for 4 years prior to applying to vet school. And first time I applied, I didn't get in. I got waitlisted and didn't get in. And so I just worked more over that year to kind of get that resume built up a little better. And then I got in the second time. So most veterinarians have had 3 additional years of 3 undergrad years before getting into vet school.
Wow.
And then some of us had to take a little longer.
Absolutely. And you guys are growing so fast. You're so busy at RVet. I hear you're always looking for vets, right?
Absolutely.
Still looking for vets?
I would say we have 6 or 7 openings right now around the state of Missouri, but we want to find excellent doctors who want to join our community here.
Yeah. Okay. Now, to do everything you do, you have to be pretty smart. I mean, you own all of these businesses and stuff. And I was looking at your resume. You're actually an architectural engineer, right? Is that true?
Yeah, I went to Missouri Science and Technology, or back then it was UMR. Got a formal degree in architectural engineering and a master's in engineering management. I have my professional engineering license. I don't practice a whole lot these days, but
Yeah.
I apply all of that knowledge and schooling and the ability to critically think about problems to our businesses every day.
So you guys are the smart people, right? I mean, you got an engineering degree, you're a doctor and stuff like that. I mean, that's amazing how much schooling you guys have. Did you ever build anything with that architectural engineering degree, or?
The one I always like to claim when I drive my family around, there's a water tower in DeSoto, Missouri that I got to partake in pretty heavily, and it was primarily my design. And certainly there's other people involved in building it, but I can drive by it and say, "Hey, kids, we designed that, we built that."
That's
so,
my water
that's
tower
right.
there, my golly. You got to put Rericha on the side of it there. And I hear you have a twin sister.
That's right.
Now, is she like? What do they call it? Identical twin or?
Well, being a sister, I hope not identical.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
but she's got the arts side of the brain apparently.
Oh, yeah.
She's an art teacher in St. Charles, Missouri,
Huh.
and while I'm an architectural engineer, I cannot creatively draw a picture to save my life, and
Me
she
neither.
can.
Don't
she
ask me to
teaches high
draw.
schoolers to do.
Don't ask me to draw a banana. You know what I mean? It's like that's dangerous, right? So I know exactly what you're talking about. Is she smart like you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and we don't think it's just about schooling. I've met a lot of people in my career that have proven they have the knowledge through on-the-job training. So smarts isn't just about sticking it out through school, through a master's or a doctorate program. I mean, certainly you need that. But, we know a lot of kids in school these days are looking for traditional ways to go through vocational careers. And I have plenty of people in our organization that are very smart that don't have a degree.
Right. And you're always open to helping people. I've heard you say, if anybody needs some help or wants some advice or anything like that, just let them get in touch with me. Are you still, I know you're busy. Do you still do that?
Absolutely. I had coffee with someone last week that was trying to start a business and wanted to have some conversations. So we sat and talked about it, and hopefully I gave them some good pieces of advice.
Absolutely. Okay, so Dr. Katie, our veterinary, if folks are interested in getting to know more about our vets or bringing you their pet to look at or whatever, how do they go about doing that?
I would say definitely giving us a call is the best way, and having that conversation. Certainly email is also fine.
Okay.
And then, or just showing up and, just seeing who's available and, if they're looking to start a job, just kind of talking to the office manager as well.
Okay, excellent. So you heard it right there. Dr. Katie Rericha, it's James Rericha. Thank you guys so much for coming by. I know how busy you are, so appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me back.
All right, and thank you for joining us for Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show.
You're watching Lake TV.